I'm Bob Harris, president of the Decorative Concrete Institute. We use a wide variety of different mixing paddles and mixing drills depending on the material that we're trying to mix. Now, for small batches of epoxies and polyurethanes, you can use a traditional cordless drill like this, for example, and a small mixing paddle, as you can see here, very effective for small batches, say in a 1-gallon container. You'd never use a small drill like this for mixing a cement-based product. It simply wouldn't hold up and it would burn the drill out. If you're working with cement-based products, you're going to use more of an industrial type drill. Commonly we use what we call a 1/2-inch drill. Now, if you use the 1/2-inch drill, you want a minimum RPM of about 650. 650 RPM is typical in our industry for mixing cement-based toppings. Also, we use variable speed. And so we're usually mixing a cement-based overlay or topping somewhere in the vicinity of about 650 RPMs to no more than 1,000 RPMs. Now, why would you not want to mix faster than that? Because the faster that you whip the material, it actually entraps air into the mix, and the end result could be air bubbles on your mix. Along with the drills, there's just a wide variety of mixing paddles, and we use virtually all of them. For mixing spray-down overlay systems, we'll use a drill type like this. For mixing skim coats, I really prefer this because what happens is when you're mixing skim coats, you're not mixing large batches. Typically, you're mixing about 5 gallons of material or less, so you're mixing in a 5-gallon bucket. And the nature of this paddle here, it allows the drill paddle to get into the perimeter of the bucket, as opposed to this style of mixing paddle. Typically, we use this style mixing paddle for self-leveling overlays because we're mixing much larger volumes. And generally, we're mixing 2 buckets or 2 bags of material in a 30-gallon mixing drum. The mixing drum has a contour that has a shape to it very similar to this. So what happens is this mixing paddle, because of the contour, it allows this type of paddle to follow the contour of the mixing bucket. So this is very effective for that type of mixing. As you can see, there's a wide variety of not only mixing drills, but mixing paddles as well. Do your homework, and more importantly, check with your manufacturer of the system that you're about to install. Chances are they'll recommend not only the type of drill and the RPM of drill, but the best used mixing paddle. Let's show you how some of these tools work. It's time to mix our self-leveling material. Remember, the type of drill and the type of paddle are very important, and in this case, we're using the Jiffy style specific to this type of material. We talked about the importance. Notice the contour of this drum. Well, this mixing paddle actually follows that contour, so this is a very effective mixing drill and paddle in this type of a drum. Now, this type of material requires a certain amount of water, 3.2 liters per bag. So we've multiplied that times 2 since we're going to be mixing 2 bags of material. So before we get busy on our mixing, really important observations, again, safety aspects. You'll see in just a moment that some of the dust will go airborne. So at a minimum, we have our dust masks. Occasionally, you'll have the wet material fly out of the bucket, and the last thing that you want is for it to fly into your eyes. That could spell disaster, pretty much shut the operation down. So protect yourself. And the last thing, non-absorbent gloves. There is cement in this material, so really pay close attention to how you protect yourself. Let's get busy. Obviously, it's very critical, not only with the drill paddle that you're using and the type of drill that you're using, but it's how you use that tool. Very important as well, specific to the material that you're mixing. After all, we're not mixing a cake, so you don't want to go up and down. You want to keep the drill paddle totally submerged in the material. And if you don't, if you go up and down, it's going to entrap unwanted air, and the end result of a lot of additional air in the mix could be air bubbles on your finished floor. So use the tool properly, check with your manufacturer's suggested specifications, not only on the RPM drill, the type of paddle, but the mixing requirements. Remember, to get the most out of your tools, use them properly, and more importantly, use them safely. I'm Bob Harris.